Hey there! Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification icon to hear more about my Gundam voice. Hey guys, it's your girl. I'm announcing that you put your nostalgia goggles like it's the 90s on this one. Welcome back to Gundam Technology. Let's get into it. So, my fascination with handsome boys like Duo Maxwell amplified my interest in shipping Zagato and Hikaru Shido of Magic Knight Breaker and simping for Escaflowne's Van Fannel. Ugh, Van Fannel is God-sent, and Duo Maxwell is that god that sent him to the husbando world. As much as I ship Hotohori and Miyaka of Fushigi-Yugi in my weekend morning anime, if it wasn't for these, I wouldn't like fantasy anime at all. Who would have known that cable and local TV shaped me more as a human being? I'm pretty sure I'm not alone with this. The fantasy anime genre. I remember the sound of roosters crowing early in the morning. It's a Saturday in the late 90s, and you know what that means. Early morning cartoons. About 3 to 4 a.m., I remember seeing some weird detective anime with a huge robot on TV while I was browsing. This subgenre of anime had amazing titles since the late 80s up until the time of this writing. It would be totally negligent of me if I wouldn't mention a title I got hooked on previously, like Records of Lotus War and Machine Hero Wataru. Wataru being considered as Mecha Isekai? Well, Isekai is the go-to genre of an anime fan most of the time nowadays. In fact, with suggestion lists almost ranking it on top recommendation every spring, summer, autumn, and winter of any tuber or anime website top 10. It's not that I don't love the fantasy anime genre. I love escaping towards utopian cities absent of futuristic ideas and just play as a wizard or a swordsman or whatever. Or a total riot like Beast Wars, where aliens try to make friends on Earth but there weren't any humans yet, so they're stuck fighting each other. But this overuse, this oversaturation of the genre is all thanks to one title, 2012's Sword Art Online. From this point on, any anime I reference after 2012, I will address as ComedIsekai. Not to raise your eyebrows or whatever, I love that anime series with all my heart, but I can't seem to point out that some isekai anime offer a different flavor of fantasy anime than the others. You see, isekai as a genre was fairly influential. It was decent in the 80s and in the 90s, albeit being unrecognized. You had titles like Magic Knight Rayearth, Vision of Escaflowne, Steam Detectives, and Digimon carrying the mantle of each subgenre of isekai from the 90s to the early 2000s. Most of it is loosely mecha anime at its roots. Mecha Isekai is vastly underrated and often underlooked, scratching the thin line of sci-fi and fantasy lovers. Overall, it's good storytelling at its core. Good anime. That's why we love anime and created this channel in general. Another sleeper 90s mecha isekai is FLCL. In this anime, it's more of the mecha is just a furniture piece and not the centerfold of the story, not after the last quarter of the anime. The story is more an abstraction of teenage life and how people in it deal with experiencing maturity. I would like to leave a spotlight on OG the Section Chief, because I had recently discovered this weird fusion of isekai and space opera, where a salaryman gets transferred to space by playing his Gibson Flying V. It's one of those simple recipe animes for amazing stories, which is flashy colors, aliens, rock music, and an ending song with pin-up girl-esque pictures. I think most anime usually go for that random poster artwork at the ending song. Sukebandeka-esque Delinquent Girl series did it, and Kill la Kill, Samurai X, and that ending theme from Monster Rancher, which is incredibly catchy as hell. The thing is, we can reference tons of sci-fi fantasy hybrids like Trigun, Cowboy Bebop. There's also Luz and Yusuke Kuroda's work in duo Parallel Trouble Adventure. That guy wrote Goblin Slayer and Gundam 00, and who would have known? He wrote a comedy isekai mecha anime about a boy who got teleported in a mecha universe. with Magic Knight Ray Earth dominating the shoujo genre, Digimon is the gateway anime it was for our generation, and the vision of Escaflowne for letting the serious outsiders to get hooked to anime. Imagine Rowling, Twilight, and Tolkien fans before they got hooked to all of that. This shaped the upcoming wave of isekai anime that is yet to come.
Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Just kidding. I love the new ones as well, but it's just somehow tiring. ComedIsekai is mediocre at best, and it does not have the same level as the titles I previously mentioned. Imagine comparing Now and Then here and there to the slime anime. ComedIsekai is tiring in the sense that we all know that we came for the fan service and the husbando waifu shipping. Personally, I ship ReZero's Emilia and Rem. In fact, I don't mind a little heat and steaminess in my anime. If Gundam Seed got away with it, so can everyone else, right? But to narrow it down, it has been repetitive, and I love that there's new stuff for new anime fans every once in a while. I can see the beauty of Magic Knight Ray Earth, Sword Art Online, and Log Horizon take new twists of isekai and set the bar up high. But ComedIsekai sets the bar low in creativity in comparison to 90s classics that I have mentioned. I can separate how In Another World with My Smartphone, Danmachi, and Konotsuba is a good take on ComedIsekai and fantasy anime as a whole. However, series like Saga of Tanya the Evil, Grimgar, and High Rise Invasion completely make use of the usual isekai. Alice in Wonderland-ish plot and bends the narrative into a full 180 of weird and quirky. My 2 cents on ComedIsekai as a whole is no one wants to leave. Unlike classic isekai anime series, which is like Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland, where people want to actually go home. Don't you want to go home after a tiring day of work? Give the character that, but their homesickness 100-fold. In fact, the fantasy aspect of anime was loosely tied to mecha anime series like Steam Detectives, which I referenced a while ago. Legend of the Black Heaven, also known as Oji the Section Chief, an underrated sci-fi isekai anime, and titles like Gun X Sword, Final Fantasy Unlimited, and... What, bro? I could go all day. Come at me, bro. I just noticed how ComedIsekai in general was reduced to having this repetitive fantasy format, which is good, but if there are not a lot of options, good just isn't good enough. Even if you consider real life and you choose different flavors of ice cream, for example, you would crave different flavors than vanilla. You would want other flavors even though your favorite flavor is vanilla. Speaking of craving different flavors, I wrote something about a question. Is mecha really dead? Because some people think so, and that's not usually the case. Let me know your thoughts on isekai, mecha, and how anime ventures in different genres and tropes you think I should discuss in my channel. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel for more mecha-related stuff. Suggest a new mecha or a classic one to watch. I might make a review or an essay out of it. If I like it, in fact, you'll see it in the next video. Stay connected, stay up to date.